welcome back to Art with Honesty, and in today's video we are going to be drawing one of the D&D characters from my ongoing campaign. We have been doing this campaign for a year now, and my dad DMs for us. Love having a family member, nepotism, DM for you because you always get included. And I really love doing D&D, and I really love doing it in person. So I also had planned to include more of the characters in a video, but realizing that this character already took 7 hours to draw and that each one of them is taking a lot of time to draw because I am trying to put in a lot of effort, I decided that I will do a character per video, so expect the rest of the characters in the coming weeks. And also, if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm really excited about this, and it really means a lot to me to share my D&D experiences with everyone because I really do love D&D. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, some backstory before I get into what this character I'm drawing is and who they are and who their player is and how she plays her. In the campaign, the D&D campaign that I have been playing for the last year, it is called The Odyssey. Now, The Odyssey is kind of like based on Greek mythology, and if you are a fan of Epic the Musical or Hercules or Greek mythology in general, The Odyssey is a great D&D campaign to play through and to DM. It's very exciting, it's very interesting. There's a bunch of like D&D/Greek adjacent things like centaurs, minotaurs, cyclops, and a bunch of other really cool Greek kind of inspired storyline. There are 5 gods and then there are 2 titans, and about 500 years ago from our characters there was a great war between dragon lords, which are just like dragon riders, and those dragons turned into the 5 gods we know, and the titans, Lytheria and Sidon. After a bunch of back and forth in this war and a ton of deaths, like, we're not going to condone war. It is not okay. It is not cool. War is never a good thing. So there was a bunch of deaths, and eventually they decided to sign an oath of peace. So the 5 gods and the 2 titans, Lytheria and Sidon, decided to sign an oath of peace, which basically for the last 500 years have been in effect. No one has been really trying to kill the other. The issue now is where our characters come in. This oath of peace is gonna run out soon, like the time period. So a little backstory about our guy Sidon. Sidon is a titan. He is, I guess, a mixture of Poseidon and Zeus. He is very territorial. He's got some anger issues. He's very wrathful, not cool. And Lytheria, which is his sister wife, and the reason I say sister wife is they're brother sister and they're married, which is very common in Greek mythology. We're not going to hate them for like playing into the Greek mythology of incest. She would be more based on Hades and Hera. She runs the underworld, and she also is kind of like Hera, very jealous. But both of them have had many lovers. So if you hear like, oh, I'm the son or daughter of Sidon, oh, I'm the son or daughter of Lytheria, it's very common, Greek mythology and all that, right? So where we are at is there is a prophecy. The prophecy predicts that if the Oath of Peace is to come to an end, Lytheria and Sidon are going to exact their revenge on the island, and no one will be able to escape. So that's a little bit of the backstory, like, and all the humans are gonna die, and the elves, humans, dwarves, and basically they're gonna return the centaurs, nymphs, fey creatures, all of that into power. So basically another war is coming up. So that's the backstory. Let's get into this little character design. So, who am I drawing? Who are they? Why are they so cute? Great questions, all of which I'm going to answer in due time. So firstly, the character I'm drawing today is Asteria. I'll put their name in the left corner so you know how to spell it. You know, for our visual learners, we like to see how things are spelled. Asteria is a dryad. So a little backstory about dryads. Dryads come from trees. I don't actually know because this is like all player knowledge, and like I'm not like a DM, so I don't really know all the stuff. But so I don't actually know if dryads, like when they are born from the tree, are they like an infant or are they a fully fledged adult? It's weird. I mean, you're already born from a tree, so there's a weird like thing there. So dryads are fey creatures. Dryads are related to nymphs and Uriads, which are like a subsection. The thing about Dryads is they are very in tune with nature. They don't like civilization, especially when civilization is encroaching on their forests, deforestation and all that, but they also have a very good reason for it. If a Dryad is separated from their tree for way too long, they start to go insane. So they have to come back and visit their tree every now and then in order to regain that sanity. And so what deforestation does and what humans do is we like to cut down trees to build civilizations, to use it for fuel, the whole jazz. And Dryads, if their tree is cut down, there's no tree for them to visit, they go insane. They could start killing people, or it could get to the point where they have to be killed because they are so mentally unstable, right? So that's Dryads. Again, they're very in tune with nature, so it makes sense that Asteria is a Druid. Now, from a player standpoint, you're probably wondering what kind of Druid she is. She is a very stereotypical Druid. Most players who pick Druids choose Moon Druids. Moon Druids is a subclass of the Druid, which means that they have more abilities to wild shape. So instead of getting things at a later level or getting like special abilities, they get them sooner because of the Moon Druid. So she can turn into animals, and she does very often. So Druids in general are very in touch with nature. Makes sense that the Dryad would also be in touch with nature, and that is why she is our nature-y girl, right? So then a little bit about her design. Asteria and most Dryads do not like to wear clothing. They feel it's very restrictive. They also do not like a lot of man-made things. So things like armor and stuff like that, if it is not natural, it doesn't feel good on them and it doesn't feel good to them. So they usually like to walk around naked. But I'm not an NSFW artist, so I decided to just draw some kind of nature-y clothing on her. That's why she has leaves and flowers, because I do not want to, show too much. But when she is in civilization, she does have to cover up, because obviously it's very uncomfortable for humans and humanoids to see a beautiful naked woman. Dryads and nymphs and most of the fake creatures have the ability to charm others. Hers is just through her beauty. So Asteria can charm people. She doesn't very often because she's also a bit of a ditz, a bit of a klutz. So she doesn't really do the charming as much. She is very, very protective of animals. If she sees animal cruelty, it is over for you. She will kill you. She does not care about human lives. Asteria will kill you to save a pet puppy. I mean, who wouldn't though? If you saw a pet puppy and they were pick the puppy or save this person's life, I'm pretty sure most of you, I know you, would pick a puppy. So that's kind of Asteria's character. She has light brown skin, grey eyes, and pink hair with little flowers in it. And on her skin, she has little flower details. A lot of this I think I did add in post, but that was because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, so I didn't really record it. Then Asteria is very sweet, but again, she's a bit sheltered. She grew up in the forest, so she doesn't really know civilized laws, which is totally understandable because you're not from that region. There's no reason for you to kind of adapt that custom if you don't know that it's appropriate to adapt that custom. And then Asteria is very pretty. A lot of times when we go into town, everyone's like, oh my gosh, who's that girl? Because Asteria is one of the prettier ones in our group. You'll notice as I go into the other characters that some of them are not as pretty. Notably my character, she's an old lady. So that's a bit of foreshadowing. Then Asteria has many stories that she can tell us. So obviously these are from my player perspective, so I'm going to tell you some stories about Asteria from my player perspective. So like I said, Asteria is a moon druid, and what do moon druids like to do? They like to turn into animals. So the most notable and the favorite animal that Asteria turns into the most is a bear. Maybe I should have drawn a bear. Or maybe perhaps not. So Asteria is very notable for turning into a bear, but when she does turn into any kind of animal, she will have a streak of pink along her back. So if she's an animal with fur, she'll have a streak of pink fur, and if she's an animal that doesn't have fur, like something that has scales, like for example a lizard or something that is a lot less fluffy like a spider, they will just have a pink streak. So it helps us players to know exactly what we're looking out for. If we're looking for a pink streak, we know that that is Asteria, we must not harm her. When turning into animals, there is like a little bit of a downfall because you cannot speak to your players. So Asteria, one of her best animal transformations for scouting is a little spider. Well, a giant spider, let's be real, because spiders can climb on the wall and they also have poison. Is it poison or venom? They bite you and then you get poisoned. So maybe it's venom. So Asteria will scout with the spider, and we have come up with a system where 1 tap means yes and 2 taps mean no. Or is it 2 taps mean yes and 1 tap means no? Oh dear. Then one of the most notable stories that is of recent is this. So picture this. You are a lizard folk. You are a lizard man or a lizard woman or a lizard whatever. But you're a lizard. You're a lizard man, woman folk. You are part of a tribe known as the Firewalkers. And you're known as the Firewalkers because your entire base, your entire place of employment, place of rest is over an active volcano. Then one day, you are tending to your precious large lizard steeds. They're like horses, but they're giant lizards and they're kind of Komodo dragon shaped. But you're tending to them because you care so much about these, and kind of it is your job, and if you don't do your job, you're gonna get sacrificed to the volcano. And then one day, there's this giant lizard that seems a bit wild and seems a bit strange because it has this pink stripe across its back. You think, well, that's weird, but you and your buddies, you're used to giant lizards. Maybe not like just walking across this little suspension bridge, but you're used to them. So you think best way so that it doesn't scare our tame lizards is to scare this giant lizard off. And you poke and you prod at it, and even the other giant lizard steeds get kind of uncomfortable, and they also try to bite at this giant lizard with a pink stripe. And then the most strangest thing happens. This giant lizard, all the fresh wounds that you just poked into it hoping to scare it off, they all get healed. And you pretty sure this is a sign from the gods. Someone is displeased with you, be it the volcano god or be it Sidon, who you have recently started to worship. But someone is displeased with you. You and your buddies, seeing that this giant lizard cannot be harmed, decide to flee. You run and you find one of the watchmen. He has a horn and he can call for help, and he will be your best bet for survival. So you go to him and you say, please, please blow the horn. There's this giant wild lizard and it can heal itself. Please blow the horn. We need help. But superior officers or supervisors in general, let's be honest. He's like, come on, man. It's just one giant lizard. You guys should go back there and deal with it. Like, I'll even deal with it for you. As this giant lizard slowly comes closer, and you are getting even more scared. You're getting even more petrified. This giant lizard is coming closer, and your boss doesn't seem to care that you think that this is an omen of death. So as this giant lizard comes closer and crosses the bridge closer to you, your boss is waving around his horn, and as you're trying to warn him of the dangers, this giant lizard takes a bite at the horn, but it misses. You go, boss, did you see that? Did you see that the giant lizard took a bite at you? He goes, come on guys, it's just one giant lizard. We deal with them all the time. You guys got this. And as he says that, the giant lizard takes another bite at his horn. No effect. And this time, your boss notices. But as he is ready to blow the horn, a Medusa steps forth and petrifies him. And some of your buddies who you have been tending to the other giant lizards with. So now your friends are dead, your supervisor's dead, and more people you haven't noticed before, come out of the woodworks and kill whoever is left remaining. So you think, if I could just jump to the ledge of the volcano, if I could just climb out of this If I can make a jump from my little bridge to the side of the volcano, I can be free. I can maybe call for help. I can maybe just run away and never talk about this again and move states, if I could just make that jump. But as you leap, the only possible taste of freedom that you're going to get, this giant lizard, the one you knew was going to kill you, was an omen of death, bites at you, snaps your neck, and throws your lifeless body into the volcano below. Now, from the player standpoint, this was a very funny experience because not only did she fail to distract the lizards, she also failed at trying to take the horn away from the watchman so he couldn't call for help. But it's times like these I wonder if we are really the true heroes or the true villains, because from the lizard folk perspective, this was probably the most horrifying experience you could ever have before you died. So that is probably one of the most notable stories. And if you're wondering who the Medusa is, it is just one of our sidekicks called Moxina. She's also known as the Lady of Coins, and she is a rogue, and we love a boss baddie. She runs a criminal empire, so very cool. So yeah, that is one of the most notable stories of Asturia, told from the perspective of the lizard folk, and I really hope that you enjoyed that. I also decided to draw Asturia in a forest with some wisps, which are supposed to represent some fake creatures, just because that is where she originates from, and I plan to carry that theme across all the characters, drawing the background from where they originate from. So that is the first character of 4. Really excited to show you the rest of them, which again, like I said, will be coming in the following weeks. And again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm really excited to share the rest of my D&D stories and D&D characters with you, as each one of these is played by a unique person and each one of these characters are unique in their own right. And I really hope to see you all again next week for the next video.